Joseph Richards and his wife's name on there. You can point it out. Somebody might be able to see his name. Yep, Richards. He owned property back here. He married into the Newcomb family. Newcomb was a granite manufacturer here in Quincy. You'll see on later maps, you'll see that name mentioned too. So he also became associated with Munn. Richards and Munn was M-U-N-N. They were another granite firm. One of his claims to fame here that we like in Quincy was he also became a state senator before he passed away. That was later on in life. But one of the great things about this guy, and you can look him up and get information on him on the internet, he patented this hammer, which is pretty much still used today in certain designs. Now remember we talked about hammering stone with this? You can see there's only one edge on that. When that wore down, it had to go back to the blacksmith shop and they had to reheat it, nail it and everything else like that and get an edge back on it. So you wore that edge down. So you wore that edge down, you'd flip it over, you do this edge, then it would go back to that blacksmith shop. You got to use this thing for a while. He came up with this method of making a hammer that you can see here, and it's multi-blades, like fingers like this. They could have 4 blades to an inch, 6 blades to an inch, 8 blades to an inch, depending on the degree of finish that you want the granite. You look at Quincy City Hall, it was built in 1844. This type of hammer would have been used on Quincy City Hall. It was probably an 8 cut hammer. Nice smooth finish. So you'd start off on the rough block with this still, but you'd only work it down to like you see where King's Chapel is there, like this. Like that degree. Then you would go to one of these type of hammers that he invented in 1828. Wasn't around when they built this, but 1828, the building of even the Bunker Hill Monument in the later stages, they would use this, not the very beginning, but Quincy City Hall, they would have used this type of hammer here. They'd go to a 4 cut, then a 6 cut, 8 cut, whatever. So that's the hammer that he developed. And today they still use the same type of hammer. The only difference is they're carbide tipped and they last a lot longer. And the benefit of that hammer, if you can see it, it's like you had multi-blades, and when they wore out, you just took the bolts out and you flipped them over, so you had 4 sides you could use, rather than just the 2. So it lasted a lot longer. The other thing is, a couple of more things. I think there's a couple of other important structures that came from this area here in the South Commons. One of them in 1795 was when they built the State House up on Beacon Hill. The cornerstone for the original cornerstone came from this area. And you can see, because we're close to the water, it was easy to take granite out of here in those days. You dragged it down to the water by horse or oxen, and then you could transport it to Boston. So 1795, the original cornerstone for the State House. And I think someplace I had a picture. The original State House looked like this, somewhat. It didn't have a basement under it, the original State House. Today you'll go up to the State House and you can see there's a full basement under it. That wasn't built till 1855, and they used a new cornerstone. This one was, the original one that came from here was probably buried somewhere. And another important structure that came from this area, they took granite to build this. This is the dry dock number 1, the U.S. Navy dry dock number 1 down in Gosport, Virginia. The Norfolk Naval Yard, I think it is now. But they took stone from, yeah. So that's just a couple of the structures that we know of that granite was taken from this area here, the South Common area. There were probably many more, as Sally mentioned. You see on that map from the 1880s, the Mitchell and London quarry. So there was a lot of granite taken out of here. As you can see, the whole area has changed, but you could still see evidence of the outcroppings here, over by Walmart and the other areas.
Yeah. We don't have anything scheduled right now, but we are planning on having functions this spring. You know, we do quarry walks, we do stone splitting demonstrations. We actually let you split the granite. We do stone finishing demonstrations. Everything is on our website. If you just go on to QuincyQuarryMuseum.org, all our information is on there. And again, we'd love to have you up to our little museum. That's where we do all the stone finishing, stone splitting, and also the demonstrations. And we also do walks, granite railway quarry, the incline plane, the lines training. These are all walks that we'll be doing this spring, really. So watch our website. We have an email list right here. If you want to get on our email list, just to let you know what we're doing and when the walks are available and when we're going to do them, you can just sign our email list there. And I say, print very clearly, please, when you do your emails.
If you're already a member, are you on the email list?
Yes, yeah, you're already a member. You're already on it. Again, we want to thank Sally for letting us participate in her part of her walk.